Hey out there everyone, this is Bradford, your carnivore curmudgeon, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. You should know I am a actual carnivore, but I am not an actual curmudgeon mostly, sort of an honorary curmudgeon. And instead of doing everything I ate this week, I thought I would just highlight a few things, but then show you the best bite that I had this week, and it was far and away the best bite of the week. And of course, many people will ask if eating a carnivore diet gets boring or redundant because it's the same old thing. But it's really not the same old thing. Sure, it's meat and salt and eggs and things like that, but there's such variety within the carnivore diet. Steaks and burgers and of course eggs and different kinds of beef, other ruminant animals, lamb, venison, even goat. So it really doesn't get boring. It's just a matter of thinking things through and making those dishes that appeal to you. Also depends on your time and your budget. So this week I had a lot of great things to eat. And one of my favorite ways to eat steak is to sous vide it when I have time. If I get home early enough, stick a steak in the sous vide and set it to about 118 degrees. And then that way it can't overcook and I can let it go as long as I want until I'm ready to crisp it up on a cast iron skillet on the stove top, or put it on a grill, or like I did in this case, take it out to the auto wild. The auto wild that I have will crisp up these steaks in no time, just a matter of a couple of minutes, even though they're done on the inside. That 1500 degrees just makes a really nice bark on these steaks. And let them rest a few minutes with some butter on top, and they were just fantastic. Here's a little cross section. Might have got them a little bit overdone, but just barely. They were delicious. Another night this week, I took some of that leftover steak and I just cubed it up and cooked it on the stovetop with some melted butter, and it made a great meal with a few eggs. Nothing wrong with that. Had some time on Memorial Weekend to make my own hot dogs, something I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and it's just part of my therapy. So made some homemade hot dogs, 10 pounds worth. So I had enough for the freezer for myself, and several packages to give away, which I really love to do. And sure, I can buy a package of hot dogs down at the gas station for $1.49, but you know, I knew what went into these hot dogs. So no buttholes, no nipples, no snouts, no hooves, just some good ground beef and some few spices, just very few, about 5 or 6 spices. And there's just something really satisfying about it. So plenty of hot dogs for the freezer. I even made some chili to make chili dogs with a carnivore chili. I didn't take a picture of that, but I had that a time or two this week, and it did not disappoint. There are plenty of videos on how to do this, so I didn't bother with the how-to, but here's a picture of the final product. And I had some just basic stuff this week, some steak and eggs with some bacon, little B and E. That picture right there is just a thin ribeye with some eggs, but in the top right corner, what looks like a burger patty is actually a hot dog. There's always just that little bit left in the sausage stuffer that you have left over afterwards. So I just fried it up in a pan, and it tasted like a hot dog, but it was kind of strange having that shape and texture without the hot dog tube. I'm sure that was just a mental disconnect. It was the same meat, just didn't have a tubular shape. I guess that's just a must-have for a hot dog. Now that brings us to the bite of the week. And the bite of the week this week was for sure this rolled lamb loin roast. I got this over Easter actually and put it in the freezer. It was marked down, and they only seem to come out about Christmas and Easter time. So I took advantage of it, knowing that I would be able to pull it out at the right time, roast it off, and have a amazing meal. an amazing meal. As an honorary member of the grammar police, I should have known better. My apologies. This couldn't have been easier to make. Just put some salt on it, and then I put it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And when it came to 134 degrees, I put it up on the top and broiled it to crisp up that fat. And they leave that big fat cap on there at the grocery store thinking they got you to add that weight. Joke's on them. That fat cap was the best part of the whole thing. And you don't have to do it under the broiler in the oven. You can also put this on the grill and get some delightful results on that fat cap. So after I let it sit for just a little while, it's time to take the trussing off and carve it up. And for anyone wondering, yes, those are my lucky plaid flannel cooking pajamas. Don't judge me. You all have your own night pants you're ashamed of, but wouldn't give up for nothing. So it's just a matter of taking these strings and snipping the tips off and getting rid of them so that we can get on to the exceptionally satisfying part, carving them up into medallions. And these things were just the right amount of crisp on the fat cap, and then so tender on the inside. Didn't need a knife to cut them when it came time to eat. And I just got to tell you, if you have an opportunity to try one of these, it's so simple, it's so delicious. I highly recommend it, and that is why this was my bite of the week, hands down. I hope you enjoyed this little compilation video, and I would love to hear what your bite of the week was by leaving me a comment if you care to do so. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.